Good morning. Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. So today, very interesting day. Bitcoin has a breather. Bitcoin falls. Some cryptos fall. Is F2POOL at it again? So that's what I want to cover today. Or is it just normal profit taking? But besides Bitcoin and some of these altcoins, DeFi is really hot as some projects like Aave is pumping to the moon and causing ETH to have extremely high gas prices. So that's not good, right? So overall, I want to cover what is going on today in the world of Bitcoin and crypto, what's going on with Bitcoin, what's going on with ETH, what's going on with Aave, and what's going on with everything else. So thanks for tuning in, guys. As always, smash up the like, subscribe to the channel. I have these streams 11 a.m. Central Standard Time and plan on having them at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time every single day. Yesterday I had one. I had technical difficulties, but I did get through it. I'm glad most of you guys were able to catch it later on. But yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot going on, a lot I want to share with you guys, so thanks for tuning in. All right, so let's get started. Any problems with sound? No. Okay, good. Everything is good so far. All right. So looking at Bitcoin, starting out, Bitcoin's around 37,000, and honestly, it's climbing up from this morning, so things are looking pretty good. It did fall down to about 36.1 for the low of today, and now it's climbing up right around 37,000. So many people are wondering if this is due to F2POOL or due to normal profit taking or a little bit of both. I'm going to say it's a little bit of both. I think in today's case, we can't just pinpoint all to mass dumping from F2POOL. Although stats do show they did sell a little bit more. So that probably did have something to do with this. But Bitcoin, it needs to go up and down, right? It does. It doesn't just go up forever. There are breaks. There are periods where it does need to consolidate. And of course, there are times where people sell, take profits to basically use that profit to buy other things. And one of those things is, say, Aave, one of the projects I covered for many years. And I've been recommending a lot of people saying, hey, it's about to pump, right? Usually Uniswap and Aave, they go hand in hand. Uniswap first, now Aave, but you have to be careful because when they do pump, like today, they tend to go down afterwards. So you got to be careful with that. But I'll get to that in a little bit, especially during Q&A. But going back to Bitcoin, going back to profit taking, F2POOL. So what's the deal? Well, first, let me show you this. So this is F2POOL's outflow. And, yesterday night and yesterday morning, I showed how the outflow dropped down dramatically. But starting with the 4th, you see that there is a big sell right here. And again, I got to move my window so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So you do see that, yeah, there is a sudden uptick. And this sell was pretty massive. 837 in total. And there's a few other little ones that seem to be a little bit higher. So, I mean, yes, this probably did contribute to some of what we're seeing today with Bitcoin. But, overall, this is still very tame compared to some of the previous days, right? Before, where you just see there's massive outflows, right? So, like I said, I'll continue to pay attention to what's going on with that F2POOL. There's a lot of awareness at this point. I can see it. I can see it with their blog. I see it with their Twitter. They are being a lot more serious about the whole situation. There's a lot more eyes on this, whether or not it's they themselves or the miners that is utilizing a pool that's doing this, right? We know that this is kind of the source, right? But, on the grand scheme of things right now, whatever they did isn't that bad compared to before, but we'll have to see. There is a delay to this, right? So if throughout this day, we see this start, shooting up, more and more being sold, then we know that the selling pressure is going to continue. So I'll be monitoring this and let you guys know what's going on exactly with F2POOL. But like I said, besides F2POOL, I do think there's just a healthy profit taking. And of course, the entire market is not following Bitcoin. In fact, Bitcoin dominance continues to stay low and continues to drop. And that's because today you had several projects that are actually doing well besides DeFi. You have XRP that all of a sudden is gaining some strength out of nowhere, slow but steady climbing. And of course, Dogecoin had a huge pump, and I'm going to talk about that due to the Elon effect. And of course, you have a lot of DeFi that is shooting up to the moon. Look at Compound, look at Sushi Swap, UMA, that is being pumped, right? It takes a lot of money to pump. It takes a lot of money. Terra, one I covered, they're not really in DeFi, but where's the other one? Aave, you know, I mean, there's a lot of pumps going on, right? So that could also explain, more likely, the reason why Bitcoin is showing a little bit of weakness, because people need money. People need money to be able to pump these things, right? All right, so before getting more into Q&A or more, you know, coverage of the altcoins and Q&A, let me go through some of the headlines from today, because there are some very, very positive ones. So if you're afraid that Bitcoin is going to show weakness or there's no more buying, well, you shouldn't think that, because there is so much more that's coming, and so much more that's being announced every single day. For example, one of the little tidbits that came out of this this conference Michael Saylor had, Bitcoin for Corporations, yesterday, NYDIG's Ross Stevens estimates that 25 billion in institutions' Bitcoin assets by the end of the year. That's according to him for NYDIG, which is pretty big. And by the way, NYDIG, if I recall correctly, they sold a small equity stake to Mass Mutual. So a lot of people miss this. When Mass Mutual bought their $100 million worth of Bitcoin, they also bought a piece of the company that helped them acquire it. And I'm pretty sure that is NYDIG. And you know what? According to him, inflows continue to come in, just like Grayscale. Grayscale definitely the big dog, but you know what? More and more institutional money is coming in, and that is, of course, very positive, right? This is the reason why, despite the mass dumping from before, Bitcoin still held at 30,000, and now, you know, we're way past that, right? So it kind of shows you the amount of money flowing in. It's not stopping. It's not stopping at this point. Now, something else that pretty positive, it's much smaller, but you have LL Cool J. Does anyone remember him anymore? But it's not just him. There is a new crypto fund, about $72 million, that is backed by not only LL Cool J, but also Paul Tudor Jones. Remember, Paul Tudor Jones has been very bullish on Bitcoin recently. He says he doesn't really quite understand it, but he does think that it's like the early 90s, right? Where a lot of crypto companies are blooming. Same thing with Bitcoin. We don't know what the potential is, so he is involved. Also, Dapper Labs and other projects are all part of this $72 million crypto fund. So this is pretty positive. Whether or not they're just going to look at Bitcoin projects or a lot of crypto projects, altcoins, right? Probably a mix of everything. So this is also very, very positive for the entire community. Now, what else is there? Well, Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban, see, here's the thing about Mark Cuban. So he was very down on Bitcoin, saying that he would rather buy bananas than Bitcoin. But now he's telling like the Wall Street Bets people to stay positive, encouraged, and to act like Bitcoin holders. So you can't on one hand say that you rather have bananas over Bitcoin, and then on the next minute you tell people that, hey, you should act like Bitcoin holders. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense, right? So he's kind of flip-flopping, but it does seem like he's using the opportunity, again, to get his name out and also get people to turn into Bitcoin in an indirect way. I don't know, but it's kind of funny. He's just kind of flip-flopping. He needs to just declare, yeah, I like Bitcoin. I'm going to buy Bitcoin. That's it. He's a tech guy. He should understand this, right? But to quote, you know, when I buy a stock, I make sure I know why I'm buying it. Then I hold it until I learn that something has changed. The price may go up or down, but if I still believe in the logic that made me buy the asset, I don't sell. If something changed that I didn't expect, then I look at selling. You know, this really applies to Dogecoin, which I'm going to get to next. But basically, If you're buying something, you know Dogecoin is a meme coin, you buy something else, right? Whatever it is, whatever the case is, you believe that it has a good community, you believe that people are holding it, right? Then you hold it. But unless something changed, then you're not gonna sell it, right? That's kind of the thing with Bitcoin. Really, nothing has changed fundamentally. We know that everything good about it is still here, regardless of FUD and news or whatever, right? That's why Bitcoin holders continue to hold. There was only one thing that messed you all up: Robinhood and the other zero commission brokers that everyone used didn't have enough capital to fund the fight. They let you down in a big way. So now the narrative is moving away from Wall Street and now blaming the brokerages that didn't have enough capital. See, I've started realizing that. I don't know who started changing this narrative that, hey, rather than focus on the negativity of Wall Street, let's focus on the brokerages instead. That's not how it should be, right? So, anyways, like I said, flip-flopping, right? All right, now moving on to the point I want to make about hodling, right? Believing in something. Well, Elon seems like he just can't get enough of Dogecoin. Just keeps trying to pump it up and up and up. And what happened this morning with Dogecoin is because of the Elon effect. He already tweeted and pumped it up before. Now he's trying to pump it up like crazy, like so much. Look at all these tweets. No highs, no lows, only Doge. Dogecoin is people's crypto. You're welcome. And then another one where he tweets out this SpaceX rocket and then he replies saying Doge, right? So he's like he's high or something, or he's drunk and he has nothing to do, which is why I put that picture of him looking at his phone on within the thumbnail. Because sometimes he just goes off just for no apparent reason, right? And that is the reason why Doge has pumped up, but you know, the momentum seems to have stalled. But it's still very, very impressive that they're above 4 cents and they were nearing 5 cents once again. Keep in mind, Doge was way under a cent not too long ago. So it's very, very impressive that it is holding at this level, which is really good. And you know what? This goes to back to my point before and the point Mark was making. If you have a group of guys that believe in something, fundamentally, if they feel like Doge is worth 4.5 cents or 5 cents or 10 cents or $1, then it's going to be worth that much because you have that group of people with the same mindset that believe in it. And that's a very powerful thing, as Wall Street Bets proved, right? So that is what happened with Doge this morning. Now, the other big thing is, and this is a good thing and bad thing, is DeFi is pumping to the moon. Like I mentioned at the beginning, all these DeFi stuff is pumping up to the moon. But the bad thing is Ethereum gas fees are crazy right now. The network congestion is beyond crazy. So for the first time, the average Ethereum transaction fee surpassed $20. $20. That's more than Bitcoin. That's more than anything else out there. So for you to spend, you know, even if you were trying to trade on Uniswap or you're trying to just spend and do something on Ethereum right now, it's going to cost you at least $20 per transaction. That is enormous, right? And this is the problem with Ethereum right now because it can't scale. They're desperately trying to push Ethereum 2.0, right? There's a lot of second layer 2 solutions out there, scaling solutions, but a lot of these DEXs and lending companies, they haven't transited yet, right? So this will be an ongoing thing. As DeFi gets hotter and hotter and hotter, more and more people will try to get in, staking, lending, trading, all this good stuff, and it's going to really drive things up, right? So Ethereum 2.0 can't come fast enough at this point. In fact, there was another article that I didn't pull up that shows that one exchange actually shut down Ethereum withdrawals because of the high gas prices, because it was just way too high, right? So hopefully that's not a recurring theme going forward. So, but the flip side, the good side is DeFi Pulse shows that the total locked-in value continues to rise. Yesterday it was very high and now it's still going up. and the total liquidity locked in value continues to go up. Makers close to 6 billion. Aave, which is pumping today, look at it, close to 5 billion, right? Compound, another one that I started looking at, started shooting up like crazy also. Uniswap for the past few days. Uniswap is a little bit quiet for the past few days. Guess what? When Aave dies down, Uniswap is going to start pumping too. I mean, all these. Sushi Swap is coming up. Synthetic. A lot of people been asking about that. Badger DAO. I finally know a little bit more about it. That's also pretty good. Balancer. I mean, all the DeFis is going up like crazy. And Wall Street Bets had a lot to do with it. Not that they caused DeFi to happen. No, DeFi was already existed, but a lot of people are now looking for alternative ways, to invest, alternative ways to borrow money, alternative ways to basically stake and get interest, right? So a lot of people are questioning the establishment, questioning centralized systems, and looking at better alternatives, which is why I think also DeFi has gotten so hot as of late. And plus, people are making money left and right. That also definitely helps. What else is there? I saw this, which I still can't believe. A fellow YouTuber, Logan Paul, is now selling his NFT stuff, NFT-based artworks. And NFT is also getting very hot right now, right? But what I can't believe is that Mayweather actually agreed to fight Logan Paul. It is going to be the most embarrassing match ever. I get that Mayweather thinks this is a walk in the park and, he's going to make another $200 million in this fight. I get it. But this really brings him down, like, from his, like, in terms of his, like, I don't know, his reputation, right? It's like, it's up here. Why would you agree to fight someone that's, like, down here, right? It's not a good look, in my opinion, but who am I to say? He's going to probably make 200 plus million with this fight. And Logan Paul, because of all his press, he's probably going to make a pretty penny from this fight too. Probably 50 million plus. Yeah, that's a good chunk of change. But anyways, he's getting involved doing NFTs, selling artworks, and his Pokemon card booster collection. Pokemon cards are very, 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 very hot also. So that is why he's doing that. All right. Lastly, last few streams, people keep asking me, what's going on with Stellar? I love Stellar. People try to pump their Stellar bags. There's not a whole lot going on with Stellar, but I did find this article to please those of you guys that are Stellar fans. Circle is launching the new, not new, but USDC stablecoin on the Stellar network, and it's gonna be accessible through 5 integrated wallets. Okay, so that is something, right? That is something. But besides this, there's just not a whole lot going on with Stellar right now. So, but yeah. All right. Going back to Bitcoin, above 37,000, definitely moving in the right direction, right? So a little bit dip. Is it caused by F2POOL? Maybe. Some of their, their outflows increased slightly, but still not too much. Overall, I think it's healthy, right? You have people that is simply profit taking, and also that some of that money is to use to pump DeFi. There's a whole lot of going on, but if you guys are panicking, you definitely should not, right? All right, I'm going to turn to you guys for some Q&A. U496 says, I need BTC to move to 46,000. Why? Why do you need that to happen? And why so specific? Why not just 50,000? Richard says, Bank of England telling UK banks to prepare for negative interest rates. This will put more money into the market. Yeah, probably because of the endless printing, right? When you have endless printing, there's too much money flowing around. The banks don't want any more of it. That's why they're moving the interest rates to negative, right? So that kind of makes sense. Matt G, welcome. Matt G has shout out to him. He is helping me moderate the comments because there's so much spam comments. I'm guessing you guys know that, but we're trying to get rid of it as much as possible. Philip asks, is it still a good investment to buy ETH with a high gas price? Well, ETH, I just covered this yesterday night. If you guys didn't watch my stream from yesterday, kind of shocking for some people, but you know, I think it makes a whole lot of sense, right? Like in the past, I've been more so just holding on mostly Bitcoin, right? But now I do see that a lot of alts are holding their own and they're doing really well because they have good traction and they actually do have good adoption, right? So, yeah, I mean, I'm gonna look more into alts and cover more. I'm gonna diversify more, but Ethereum is one of the ones that talked about. I think a big driving force for Ethereum right now is the fact that Grayscale has their Ethereum trust, and a lot of institutional investors seem to really have an appetite for it. So it has surpassed 4 billion, but it was getting close to $5 billion. So it definitely does help drive Ethereum up, right? Right now, DeFi is also making Ethereum very hot, but the high gas prices go still be a problem. It's going to be a bigger problem as DeFi gets hotter and hotter. So I do think the trend is DeFi is going to start moving away from just Ethereum. You start hearing about DeFi projects already on like Binance Chain, Polkadot, and some of these others. I think the next wave is you're going to see DeFi switch away from Ethereum until Ethereum can solve their gas problem. But going back to your question, whether or not Ethereum is a good buy, I do think so. I do think they're a good buy because institutions are now getting involved, and plus everyone is still looking at them as the granddaddy of smart contracts, right? They started it all, and they still lead the way in some ways, not in everything. J Money, yes, Grayscale is registering Cardano Trust. We'll see how that is. Not every trust gets pumped because they have a lot of trusts. They have a Stellar Trust, Ethereum Classic Trust, and a few others, but no one really cares about them, right? So just because you have a trust doesn't mean that institutions will buy. But whether or not people will buy a Cardano Trust, we'll have to see. There was something interesting that I saw a little clip, and I believe it was with Ross Stevens from NYDIG, right? I saw this little clip of this guy. I don't know if he really means it. He was just saying it, but he's like, you know what? Ever since I started looking at things denominated in Bitcoin, things have changed my life or changed my perception. He gave the example like cash is volatile. And if you look at, okay, if I'm trying to buy a house with cash, it's going to take more and more cash as time goes on, right? But if I'm trying to buy a house with Bitcoin, the amount of Bitcoin actually goes down over time. And this is the same thing with anything. If you want to buy groceries, you want to buy a car, you want to buy mansions, whatever it is, right? The cost to buy it in cash gets more and more as time goes on due to inflation. But the cost to buy it in Bitcoin actually decreases because Bitcoin is worth more, right? So if you think about it that way, if you look at things denominated in Bitcoin, things are actually getting cheaper. and that's because Bitcoin is the ultimate store of value. Not only that, it's appreciating against the USD so much so that things bought with Bitcoin is actually getting cheaper over time. So if you look at it that way, it's a very, very interesting take, right? For people that don't understand inflation, sometimes it's hard to understand, but just think about that. And that's really an eye-opener. Victor, I've been talking about Aave for a long time, right? And some people have chimed in and said, oh, thank you for introducing me to ETH years ago because it has gone up like 1,000% since then, right? But I've been telling you guys that, you know, the two favorite DeFi coins of mine are the leaders, Uniswap, and Aave, right? They're the best pretty much at what they do. And generally, number ones, the ones that have the traction, they're going to continue to go up and up and up and up, right? So Uniswap has proven itself, keeps going up and up and up and up. It's worth $6 billion. Aave now caught up. It's worth $6 billion, going up and up and up and up, right? So this always happens with these two. It's like, because they're leaders, people get very excited, they get pumped up. Then they kind of dump a little bit, and then they get pumped up, dumped a little bit, and keeps going. But every time the cycle happens, they're a little bit higher, a little bit higher. And I said it would not surprise me to see both of these in the top 10 in the near future. And the way they're going, yeah, that's going to come very, very soon. Maybe next week or the week afterwards, we could definitely see Bcash get kicked out, right? And also Stellar will probably get kicked out. Well, they're already out. But Litecoin will probably drop, right? Binance Coin will probably drop. You're going to see these continue to go up, right? So I do like both projects very, very much. Now, if you're looking for others that are in the space, well, you know, a lot of them are doing very, very well. People ask me about synthetics, which is it's a way to tokenize basically anything. Okay, it's a derivatives product where you could tokenize other tokens, stocks. You could tokenize houses or boats or whatever. I mean, it gives you the ability to do so. So I don't know about tokenizing. For me, that's just not my thing. But a lot of people are excited about that. You know, Compound is another kind of like lending company that is doing very well. UMA, I believe, is a liquidity provider. They're doing very well. And there's a whole lot that's in it. Celsius, another lending company that's doing very well, right? It just goes on and on and on and on. So most of DeFi, at least the big ones are doing relatively well. I forgot Sushi is in there, right? I cover Sushi. I think they're going to do very well too going forward. Leo, never try to time top or bottom. Spread out your buys, spread it out, and then buy in increments, because you can't guess what is the top or bottom. And sometimes you just keep waiting and waiting and waiting, and then you end up losing it all, or losing the opportunity. So you don't want that to happen, right? Spread out your buys. If you want to buy Bitcoin, you want to buy whatever, right? Spread out your buys, buy some right now, and wait to see what happens. How do I buy Turtle Coin? I don't know if that's legit. How about Grayscale opening a Theta Trust? Do you think Theta will become more available on exchanges? Yeah, I'm actually surprised why Theta isn't open on more exchanges, at least US-based exchanges. I don't know. I don't know if Grayscale is going to open up a Theta Trust. They already announced the 6 that they're going to look at. Or maybe they were. New trust. All right, let's see what they're looking at. Aave, right? So that's big. Cosmos, Polkadot, Monero, Cardano. So Theta is not one of them. I honestly don't think they're going to open one up for Monero. But Cardano, Cosmos, Aave, and Polkadot, those are all guaranteed. I'm pretty sure those are guaranteed. So, unfortunately, they're not looking at a Theta Trust right now. Tentacoin. Dark Destroyer, if you hate YouTube is trash, why are you here? I think here's the thing. For the longest time, myself included, I thought DeFi was trash. DeFi was the next ICO bubble. That for the longest time, that's what I equated DeFi to. Here's the thing though. DeFi is not ICO bubble. what made DeFi look really, really bad was yield farming and how that got popular. How a lot of projects spurred up, promised huge returns with yield farming, and then exit scammed. And then people lost a whole lot of money, right? So in that case, it's very much like ICOs. But everything else about DeFi is legit. The ability to trade on DEXs outside of centralized exchanges, that's legit. That is here to stay. That's not going to go away anytime soon, right? Lending and staking, that's legit. You have projects that already offer staking, native projects that have their own wallet that want you to stake, right, for pretty good rewards. But, you know, say companies like Aave, Compound, Celsius, there's this extension of that. They allow you to stake, and in return, they allow people to borrow also for the staking, right? That's how they make their money. So that is here to stay, right? That's not gonna go away anytime soon. Now these other ones like derivatives and stuff like that, that's still kind of new. I'm not sure how that's gonna take off, but overall, as DeFi grows, it's here to stay. It's not gonna go away anywhere, right? And DeFi is such a broad term. It's decentralized finance. There's so much that is part of it, right? So a lot of these projects, promising projects, especially the top ones that have shown that they can grow and they have the traction and they have very loyal base, they're not gonna go away anytime soon. So if you're wondering about DeFi, that's my general thoughts, which is why, like I mentioned, like Aave, Uniswap, they're my favorites. But these other ones are pretty darn good too. Maker has been around for a long time. Compound, Sushi is up and coming, and some of these other ones have been in it for a while too. Nico asked about coin. I've never heard of coin before. You can't hack an exchange that doesn't hold any funds. Coin is a cross-chain B2B decentralized wallet exchange, a system powered by atomic swap and artificial intelligence. Well, it all sounded good until it said artificial intelligence. So, yeah. Whenever I hear about a company say we're using AI to do this or do this and do this, it just seems like they're just throwing buzzwords in there to try to make you feel like it's impressive. So, and it's a new project. It's not even out. So, yeah, I can't really comment too much about it. Is Ravencoin a dead project? I have not heard much about Ravencoin. Ravencoin was basically trying to turn Bitcoin into Ethereum. But I don't know how successful they have gotten. So I don't really hear much about Raven at this point. Yeah, no, I don't believe in AGI. I've always hated that project. I talk about VeChain all the time, even yesterday. It's because you don't tune into my streams enough. That's the reason why you don't hear about it. Ardor, BitShares. Come on, Eric. Why are you bringing up these these past projects that are pretty much dead? I need news on. You don't need news on Chainlink, Flipman. Chainlink is a dominant Oracle player, right? Every single company out there is partnering up with Chainlink to utilize it. That's all you really need to know. They're the big daddy of oracles, right? So you don't need any news. Absolute Tonka. Talk about NFTs. Have you heard of Vulcanverse? It's going to explode. New coin launch. No, I have not heard of it. And I really don't like the sound of the name of it. Kyber's interesting because they are a DEX. They're kind of like a hybrid DEX. I'm wondering what's going to happen because they're trying to transition themselves to be more like Uniswap. But I think Kyber is actually a pretty good interface. It has a good interface. I don't know what they're actually going to do. But they actually were kind of like one of the first dexes, but they lost all the momentum. So I don't know if they could regain it. But I think overall Kyber isn't doing too bad. Yeah, 300 million. They're still hanging in there. Obviously not one of the top dogs, but they're hanging in there. Uniswap continues to be bullish. And Uniswap is almost nearing 500. I mean, Aave's continuing to be bullish, almost 500. It just keeps pumping and pumping and pumping. Although I'm a little concerned because all these indicators, like 15-minute, 1 hour, 4 hour, are like, especially the 4 hour, extremely, extremely high. So I do think Aave, apologize, is going to come down a little bit. I think it overshot a little bit. It's probably going to come down, maybe back down to like 400, 420-ish, and then continue on. See, this is what I'm talking about. Every time it pumps, right, and then it comes down a little bit, pumps, comes down a little bit, right? That's how Aave Uniswap works. So I would hold off on this. This is being extremely pumped right now. For those of you guys that's trying to FOMO in, I would wait until it takes a breather like this before getting back in. Why is DOT so high? Any big projects on it? Well, like right now, I'm glad someone brought up Grayscale, because it does seem like every single Grayscale project has been pumping. Aave has, Polkadot has, Cardano has. I don't know about Cosmos. So I think this could be a big reason, because people are anticipating that big money will be coming in. But also Polkadot has a lot going for it. A lot of Ethereum backers have moved to Polkadot. And they are building a lot of dApps. A lot of companies, I should say, dApp makers that are struggling with scaling on Ethereum, they're turning to Polkadot. So they definitely do have a really good base and good following. I'm going to say I would really love to see Brady win another one. And the only reason for that is because he's not with the Patriots anymore. I would love to see him win it on another team and kind of solidify himself as the GOAT of all time, right? The best of all time. But I do think that the Chiefs will probably go win. Mahomes probably go win another one. What pisses me off is, I'm not going to say it. But anyways, that's my answer to you. Yeah, and for those of you guys wondering about Doge, right, obviously Elon pumped it up to the moon today, again. But the fact that it is holding at this price level, above 4 cents, maybe it goes to 5 cents. It was as high as 6 or 8 cents recently. I mean, it's pretty amazing. But it just shows you the collective power is pretty damn impressive, right? The number of people that's holding Doge continues to buy it, continues to believe it, maybe because they believe in Elon, maybe because of Wall Street bets, or maybe it's just because people love to pump a meme coin. And it doesn't matter what it is, but you know, the simple fact it is holding. A lot of people anticipated it was going to dump below a cent again, but it has held. It has held really, really well. So maybe it is going to be here to stay, and it's going to be in the top 15 or 20 from now on. That would be very impressive, seeing how it's $6 billion in market cap. That is really, really impressive. BS thing still a thing? BSV still a thing? No. Absolutely no one talks about it. And Craig Wright is desperate, trying to sue people for using the Bitcoin white paper or something like that. I don't know what's going on with Craig Wright. I don't think we need to pay attention. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people want to FOMO in Avi right now. I would say definitely hold off, right? You can see a lot of buying right now being pumped, but Aave always does this. Always does this. It goes on a huge, tremendous pump and then takes a breather. Huge, tremendous pump, breather. But I mean, on the grand scheme of things, if you're looking to buy Aave for a long hold, right? So don't time it, like I said, right? Spread out your buys. You know, buy a little bit, then wait, buy a little bit more, buy a little bit more. But even with Aave right now, I would say the smartest thing is to wait for it to come down a little bit, right? Then do the dollar cost average and spread out your buys. In case when it comes down a little bit, it didn't come down enough, it's going to come down more, then you could rebuy back, right? And dollar cost average for long haul. So, all right, guys, that's it. I'll let you guys go. So overall, you know, is Bitcoin's fall or crypto fall due to F2POOL? A little bit. I would say a little bit of it, right? I don't think they're mass dumping right now, but you could definitely see that their sell pressure did go up a little bit. But overall, I think today is a healthy pullback. We're still at $37,000, and a lot of DeFi is pumping up. So it kind of shows you that there is not any mass panic right now. It's just people probably profit taking on Bitcoin and some of the others. Ethereum took a little breather because it was pumped up to the moon. Little profit taking, and maybe people are, you know, utilizing that money to pump other projects at this point, right? So overall, it's a pretty good day. We still have round 2 of Bitcoin for Corporations from Michael Saylor, right? And there's a whole bunch of more stuff coming. Trust me, a lot more stuff coming, right? So thanks for tuning in. Smash up the like, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and stay tuned for my live stream tonight at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. So make sure you don't miss it. And if you want some exclusive content and maybe more insight into some of these altcoins, check out my Patreon group, which has been exploding as of late. So thanks for those of you guys that supported me. And if you want a crash course on Bitcoin, you really don't know anything about Bitcoin, then check out my Teachable page. All right, take care, guys. Bye-bye.